The Aceh War had already raged for nearly 3 decades by 1901, a brutal conflict on the northern tip of Sumatra. Dutch control remained tenuous, challenged fiercely by the Acehnese resistance. General Major Johannes Benedictus van Heutsz, appointed military and civil governor in 1898, brought a new intensity to the Dutch campaign. His strategy centered on relentless pursuit and crushing the Acehnese leadership. During this period, the fighting involved specialized Dutch units, notably the Korps Merchessie T Voet. These lightly equipped counter-guerrilla forces relentlessly tracked Acehnese fighters through difficult terrain. In the year 1901, Van Heutz's strategy was in full effect. Reports from the field detailed skirmishes, captured fortifications, and the systematic destruction of villages suspected of supporting the resistance. The emphasis was on breaking the will of the population. The human cost was immense. Information reaching the Dutch command detailed not only military engagements, but also the widespread suffering caused by the scorched earth tactics employed under Van Heutz's authority. As events unfolded, the Dutch consolidated control over coastal areas, but the interior remained contested. Van Heutsz processed intelligence regarding the movements of key Acehnese leaders like Tuku Umar, whose death in 1899 had been a blow, yet resistance continued. Subsequently, the focus intensified on capturing or eliminating remaining pockets of resistance and prominent figures. The campaign under Van Heutsz during 1901 marked a phase of particularly harsh counterinsurgency operations, steadily eroding the Acehnese capacity for large-scale warfare but fueling deep-seated resentment. From Van Heutz's perspective in 1901, the battlefield was less a single location and more a vast, challenging territory defined by ongoing conflict. Reports detailed the results of patrols and engagements, the steady toll on both sides. Intelligence assessments likely highlighted the effectiveness of the Merchessie units in disrupting Acehnese supply lines and communication. Their ability to operate deep within resistant territory was crucial to the Dutch strategy. During this period, Van Heutsz reviewed operational summaries quantifying captured weapons, territory secured, and enemy casualties. These metrics informed his next strategic directives, aiming to accelerate the suppression of resistance. The General Major understood the psychological dimension of the conflict. News of Dutch successes, however brutal, was intended to demoralize the Acehnese population and leadership. As events unfolded, decisions made from headquarters translated into actions on the ground, often resulting in fierce, close-quarter fighting in jungle and village settings. The nature of the war was piecemeal, a collection of relentless small-unit actions rather than large set-piece battles. Subsequently, the pressure applied in 1901 yielded results, albeit slowly and at great cost. Van Heutsz remained focused on the ultimate objective, the complete subjugation of Aceh under Dutch colonial authority, regardless of the methods required. Logistical challenges remained formidable in 1901. Supplying troops operating deep in Aceh's rugged interior required extensive planning and resources, constantly vulnerable to ambush. The Acehnese demonstrated remarkable resilience. Despite significant losses and the destruction of infrastructure, pockets of determined resistance persisted, utilizing their intimate knowledge of the terrain. During this period, Van Heutz's aggressive tactics were controversial, even back in the Netherlands. Debates occurred regarding the war's immense financial cost and the ethical implications of the counterinsurgency methods. As events unfolded, the policy known as the Kort Verklaring, or short declaration, was increasingly employed. Acehnese rulers were pressured to sign agreements acknowledging Dutch supremacy, often under duress. Subsequently, intelligence operations continued to track elusive figures like KNIL, a prominent female leader who symbolized Acehnese defiance. Capturing or neutralizing such individuals remained a high priority for Van Heutz's command structure throughout 1901. Intelligence reports in 1901 detailed not just military matters, but also the state of local economies disrupted by war. Controlling agricultural output and trade routes was a key aspect of Dutch strategy. The sheer duration of the conflict meant that many Dutch soldiers serving under Van Heutsz were veterans of Sumatran campaigns, accustomed to the harsh conditions and guerrilla tactics. Morale and discipline were constant concerns for the command. During this period, communications between field commanders and Van Heutz's headquarters were vital, though often slow and difficult. Decisions were based on information that could be days or even weeks old. As events unfolded, the relentless military pressure began to fragment the unified Acehnese resistance. Local leaders increasingly faced the difficult choice between continued defiance and submitting to Dutch authority via the short declaration. Subsequently, the year 1901 represented a phase of consolidation for Van Heutsz. While victory was not yet complete, the systematic application of force was visibly weakening the Acehnese capacity to wage organized war across the entire region.